irresistible. With her eyes, she followed the sharp line of his jaw, the shape of his thick brows. Summer had tanned his skin and lightened his brown hair a shade as well. He looked good, really good. Winking at her, he said, "All righty, stop checking me out and go to sleep already." Cocky guy. She closed her eyes, exhaustion consuming her. The medicine needed time to work. She had insisted they leave the hospital in Aurora, Illinois prematurely to save the clan's money, but she hated wasting time to sleep. Too many neighbors had caught this government-inflicted plague, weeds had overtaken the clan's garden, and they still needed to contact other clans and warn them about what was coming. She had to get better fast, so she would sleep, but just for a bit. "You're scowling again." Greg rubbed the spot between her eyebrows. "Are your eyes still bothering you? Want me to?" His lips kept moving, but with her good ear pressed to her pillow, his words muddled into hearing loss oblivion. "No, I'm fine." She grabbed his hand and lowered it. "You should go." "Wow, love you too. Was it something I said?" She gave a tired smile. "No. You've just slept less than I have." And it showed. His disheveled clothes, brows wrinkled with worry, and his drooped shoulders, one of which still hadn't healed from West Chicago. At least his bruises were gone, but he still looked weary to the bone. She felt it. "I'll sleep better knowing you're sleeping too. In your own house," she clarified, so he didn't park himself on her dirty carpet again. "Fine." He stretched out his back. "I've got to go around and administer the first round of shots to all the other sickies anyway. Speaking of which," he grabbed a small white box. "It's your lucky day. You get the first one." He opened the lid to reveal dozens of syringes. The cure. "Are you sure I need another dose already?" she asked. They hadn't left the hospital that long ago. He glanced down at his empty wrist, an old habit. "When I checked the clock in Oliver's car, it was around 6. Besides, I've got to practice on somebody." Practice? She didn't love that word. Greg didn't have an ounce of medical training. No one in the clan did. But with 6 others starting symptoms, someone had to give it a try. Luckily, the nurses had shown him how to administer the shots. Apparently, they hated President Rigsbys as much as he did. Live free or die, they had said, thrilled to be helping a group of illegals. Carrie eyed the box of syringes. Better for him to practice on her than his grandparents, who were too old and frail their skin would bruise. She rolled up her sleeve. Greg pulled out the first syringe and ripped off the plastic covering as if he knew exactly what he was doing. But then the syringe stopped. He froze. "What's wrong?" she asked. "Know any techniques to make it easier?" The needle didn't look too big, but she had received the rest of the medicine via intravenous fluids. The back of her hand was still bandaged and sore, but she forced herself to look brave. "I'll be fine. I'm a big girl. Just go fast." "Not easier for you." He wiped a thin sheen of sweat from his forehead. "Easier for me. I'm not real fond of needles. They make me, He glanced at the syringe and quickly looked away. "Aw, man, not cool." His summer tan had faded into a pasty white. She started to smile. "You're afraid of needles?" she asked. "No. I'm terrified of needles. Take this." He handed the needle to her and jumped to his feet. Then he threw open her window and hung his head out, taking in huge gulps of fresh air. A slight breeze blew inside, bringing in the smell of summer. Greg stayed half in, half out. Carrie couldn't help it. She laughed. How could something as tiny as a needle scare Greg Pierce? The needle wasn't even going into his arm. It took her a minute to regain her niceness. "Are you okay?" she asked. "Fine," he said, in a tiny squeak, head still outside. Smile fading, she thought of the other clansmen who needed shots every 6 hours. The needle wasn't too huge. She'd just administer it to herself and then the others. "Did the nurse say how to give it?" she asked. He looked over his shoulder, blanched, and faced the open window again. "Just